You good, man?
Five and a half foot ramp height, a half a foot lower than what the rest of the fellows will be jumping at. And so each skier jump wins. And to get the ticket to the Masters, you have to jump about 222 feet and a quarter. So here we go. Boy, just a great camera angle for watching Harry come in on his opening jump. And we'll get a distance on Harry in just a minute here. As we are underway with our first round of the Open Men's Jump event. And so we'll keep you posted here as we're getting things underway. See the beautiful setup here we have at Sunset Lakes, jacktravers.com. And bringing Harry around the corner. They have an option to jump at 5.5 feet or 6 feet. Wow, I just love this shot. Skiers pulling out to the side of the boat. If you're unfamiliar with the jump event, from this point on, turning and going to the ramp, you want to build up the most speed coming into the bottom of the ramp and then get your lift in a beautiful second jump for Harry. Opened up with a 49-meter 161. So we'll get a distance here on jump number 2 as Dorian Llewellyn is on the dock getting ready. He'll be coming out next, one of our top young skiers in the world. For Team Canada, lives down in West Palm. Dad, one of the greatest skiers of all time, who will be joining me here in just a tat.
Hey, Deb.
Alrighty. I think he had a 187, if I'm correct, on jump number 2, coming back for third and final jump. Okay, yep, 187 on jump number 2. It's a heck of a good jump off a 5.5 foot ramp. He's going to come in for one more attempt. Jump number 3. Here we go. And for some reason, he might have been a little early on that. By the way he had his angle coming into the ramp, if you were to keep on driving, what you need to do, you need to ski all the way through the jump. And you never really let up. You ski through the jump and get your lift. And he'll take a pass on jump number 3. Well, as you can see, everybody kind of cruising down to the sidelines there to get a view of the jumpers. They want to get right kind of in the area where they're going to land. Actually, kind of varies. Some people like to get to watch the skier come into the ramp and be at that location. Other people like to get a little further down the jump course so they can see where they're landing. And we're going to see jumps over 220 feet today. 222.2769 is how far they've got to jump, which equates to 67.75 meters. Dorian Llewellyn, Team Canada, living down in West Palm. Mom and Dad, two of the best skiers in the world. Back when they were competing, Dad still kind of flirting with it a little bit. He'll go down as one of the greatest skiers of all time, one of the greatest overall skiers, as well as one of the best jumpers, setting numerous world jump records and winning world jump championships and overall championships. So here we go. Glad you're joining us. And Dorian's jumping on a 5.5-foot ramp as well. Very smart. He's a great overall skier like his father, one of the top overall skiers in the world. And that 6-foot ramp is very challenging, so it's a great way to prepare for it is just really working out your technique on the 5.5-foot ramp, and then when you have that completely dialed in and you're very confident, then you go up to the 6-foot, and then you just have to worry about dealing with the ramp height, not your technique as much. Nice speed, and Dorian opens up with a beautiful looking jump number 1. Wow, what a dandy opener, 199. 22-year-old, 5'7", started skiing at 3 years old. Okay, let's watch Dorian Llewellyn. Skis for Team Canada, lives down in the West Palm area, South Florida. Skis with Mom and Dad, Britta and Jarrett Llewellyn. Boy, really coming in hard and pushing it down the course. And when you see the fist goes up, you know they're happy with their performance. Let's see, he wanted to get over 200 feet. I asked him what would be a good jump. He says anything that starts with a 2, and he's going to be happy with that. 209 on jump number 2 to take the lead. 209 needs better than 222, and that could be rough off a 5.5-foot ramp, but monster jump at 209 off a 5.5-foot ramp. I can't hear. here we're going to come around for jump number 3, Dorian Llewellyn. Taken after his father being a 3-event skier. Here we go. This is a setup. That's 600 feet from the ramp, that buoy that he just cut in front of. And you use that for a timing device. He gets out on the side. Just as he starts to slow down, wants to turn with his speed and keep building speed all the way into the bottom of the ramp, 2 feet in. That's a beautiful place to hit the ramp. And another nice jump for Dorian Llewellyn. As we give you a view of the dock. Actually, that little tent area is our announcing area for when we were announcing slalom earlier today. There you can see Natalia Travers down there chatting, world champion, world jump record holder. 210 feet, Jarrett Llewellyn. Alrighty, so we're probably going to take a little break in the action here. Yep, the towboat with our tech controllers going out to the jump. They're going to raise it from 5.5 feet to 6 feet. That's the maximum height for the jump ramp in the open jump division. That's the highest the jump ramp is for any division. It's a beast of a jump at 6 foot. These guys are hitting the ramp at 70+ miles an hour, and you don't want to goof up. And we kind of watched this last jump by Dorian coming in with some good edge. And you can see him ski all the way up through the ramp and gets over the front of him and just floats down the jump course. Beautiful body position, beautiful landing, and he skis away a 210-footer. Damien Sharman on deck from the UK. He's for Great Britain.
Can you hear me out there? I'm trying, but I didn't really get it.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take over. Is the music playing? Okay. Joined for a moment Jared Farrell as I've got to go check something out, so we're going to turn it over to Jared.
Thanks, Hank. What we got? Some great jumping there from Dorian Llewellyn. 210 on jump number 3. There you go, Damien. It is, yeah, personal best. Just talking to Jared just before, saying that he wanted him to go 210. 210's what's happened out here, so it's great jumping from Dorian. So we're going on, moving our way through this list. We've got some big names coming up. These are the open men's. Quite sure, I haven't seen Damien Sharman. He's going to be getting ready. I think that could be him on the dock. We'll have Emil Ritter of Chile, Rodrigo Miranda. Next few skiers off. So we've got Stepan Shpak on the water. This is jump number 1, as I said. Dorian Llewellyn with the score at the moment, 2:10. Qualifying score up over the 2:20 mark. Oh, right on that bottom right-hand corner. Still not as far as what we saw Dorian around about maybe the 190s. There on jump number 1, but great conditions at the moment. Not a breeze at all. Got great angle out of the turn. Gets right onto the bottom right-hand corner. Just back on the heels a little bit. Those D3 jump skis coming up in the air. We'll get a distance. As he heads back down. This is the Sunset Cup and the last chance qualifier for the Masters next weekend up there at Pine Mountain. We had a number of our competitors booking their spot to the Masters next weekend. Stepan Shpak from Belarus. Then we'll believe it'll be Damien Sharman. Haven't seen Damien on site yet. We've definitely seen Emil Ritter and Rodrigo Miranda getting ready. Vladimir Ryanzin, Zach Warden, Felipe Miranda, Taylor Garcia, Tom Asher will be our open men's. We'll have 2 rounds of jump coming up, and then we'll have our young ladies. We'll have our men's jump, we'll have our ladies jump, and then we'll be back with our men's jump as well. So 2 rounds of men's, 1 round of women's. And Stepan stepping up here for jump number 2. Getting out nice and wide. Sinking on that, leaning on that right ski. Oh, a little bit of a slide out. Didn't quite drive all the way through there. Let up a little bit into the base. And get a bit of a replay on that one. So it was a 168 there on jump number 2. Not quite sure of the distance on the first. 168, 51.1 metres. Yeah, don't think Damien Sharman is here. We see Emil Ritter getting ready there. So here we go, Stepan Shpak from Belarus. You see great conditions at the moment. Not a breath of wind, like a little bit of a head breeze, but let's see what we can do here from our footage. It's nice through the middle, gets a lot more together there on jump number 3. Definitely going to be pushing up over the 200 mark. There on jump number 3. Looked a lot better, carried a little bit more speed in the turn. Great drive through the wakes. Gave up a little bit into the base. See that left ski coming up as well. It floated nicely through the air. A nice 3rd jump there for Stepan Shpak. All right, so we're going now to Emil Ritter of Chile, 26-year-old, skiing down there at the Miranda Ski School. Personal best of 65.9, so love to see him get up over that here at this last chance qualifier. Heading down, going to make his turn, come back. As I said, the score at the moment, Dorian Llewellyn, 210. We saw Harry Spaven with a 187. Still waiting on the scores for Stepan. Get the official scores through. We missed them here. 64.2. Okay, that's the news coming through, but we'll go on from now. Well, Emil Ritter on the water. Get down to those timing boys, those 500, 600 and 700 boys, turning right on the right on the 600. Getting out nice and wide. See what he can do here on this turn. Get those skis all the way around. Driving now, working his way through. Didn't. Oh, come on. Drove that shoulder all the way through. A little bit back on the heels, a little bit off, a little bit. Not sort of kept his body square through the ramp. Right on the corner as well. Just made it onto the ramp. 179 on jump number 1. 179 for Emil Ritter. So here we go with Emil Ritter. Jump number 2, 179. A little bit of a shaky start. Looked good though, looked good through the wakes. Looked solid. Leaving it nice and late. Got right onto the corner there as well. Great jump. It's going to be up. Let's say it's going to be pushing around the 64 meters. So 212 there for Emil Ritter on jump number 2. Solid jumping there. Still a little bit more of improvement to go. He's taken. He's improved on jump number 1. He looked a little bit shaky on jump number 1. But with a 212, can only keep improving on that. This is around that 64 meter mark. Here we go, jump number 3 coming up. We see that ski nautique making the turn under the island. There we go, inner course for Emil Ritter of Chile. Working it down. Gets out. Wide as he can, now makes the turn. Drive all the way through the wakes. A little bit on the, quite lean all the way on that right ski, all the way through the base, but still a solid jump. Not going to be as far as his second of 212, but Emil Ritter. Next skier off will be Rodrigo Miranda. Go to replay and we have a look at this. Looked a lot more in control on that jump. Didn't quite get right off the top of the ramp. Was a little bit back on his heels as we saw. He knew that through the air. Not quite as happy as we saw on jump number 2, but Still a solid effort. 2-1-2 will be a score for round number 1. We'll move on now to Rodrigo Miranda. Toddy Miranda, the 36-year-old down there in Santiago in Chile. Personal best of 68.6. Skis, of course, with his brother Pipe, Emil, and Daniel Edvarco. Rodrigo Miranda. Love to jump his way into the... Get himself set up for Masters next week. So getting himself now set up for jump number 1. Getting out nice and wide on this counter cut. Slows down, makes his turn. Going to get as wide as he can. A lot of our skiers getting nice and wide. You know, waiting for that nice turn. Great tight turn here from Rodrigo on jump number 1. He's going to pass a little bit down course. A bit too far down course to make it onto the ramp, but a ski straight back to the Nautique. And Toddy Miranda, let's have a look at this. Look good, had a great turn. The skis come all the way around in that turn. Drives all the way through the ramp. Was a little bit late though, got a little bit unstuck. Ski sort of spread just as he came off the second wake. A good choice to pass there on jump number 1. Get a feel for what's going on out there. We'll see what he's going to do for us here on jump number 2. Vladimir Ryanzin will be off next. Zach Warden, Felipe Miranda, Taylor Garcia, and Tom Asher will be our next few competitors off. We'll then go into our young ladies. Rodrigo being a 2-time Malibu Open champion. Trying to sort out some bit more of our drone imagery is what we saw yesterday in the trick event. There's Toddy Miranda. 57 Ks, he'll double that as he hits the ramp at least. Let's see if he can keep the same turn. He's back to turn off a little bit, so he's going to really work his way through. A little bit back on the heels again, but still a solid jump. Going to be up around the 210. 210, 212 for Rodrigo Miranda. Really slowed the turn down. Got a lot more angle out of the turn. A lot more solid through the wakes. Landed on that right ski. Pushed, as I said, just a little bit back on the heels. Didn't quite get up over the tips of those Goodman jump skis. I think there was a 64.9. So it's a personal best of 68.6. Well, it looks like we have got Damien Sharman here. Looks like he's getting ready on the dock. There goes some of our drone footage. All right, so Rodrigo Miranda coming in our jump number 3. Backed it off a little bit more. Probably wants to try and keep the same turn as what we saw on jump number 1. See if he can do it. Great drone footage here. Nice. He slowed the turn down a little bit more again. Got a lot more drive. Got up over the tips of the skis. And it's going to be a little bit further. I think it's going to be just further there on jump number 3. So we'll get that official score through. 66.3 or 217 feet for Toddy Miranda. .66.3. 217 feet, but so solid jumping out there from Rodrigo. Not quite sure if he's booked his spot into the Masters next weekend yet, or this is just a warm-up, get a feel for this new ski nautique. Great extension off the top, great lift. Definitely the longest of that set there for Toddy Miranda. So we go. Oh no, it's Vladimir Ryanzin. Looked like Damian Sharman, but I guess Damian's not made his way here to the LCQ. What a great sight this is down here at Jack Travers Ski School, Sunset Lakes, the Sunset Lakes Cup. In great conditions over yesterday and even today. So Vladimir Ryanzin. So what he has in store for us here on jump number 1. So 217 looks to be the longest distance we've seen so far from Toddy Miranda. Looking good so far. Looking out. Waiting for the right time to drifted back a little bit. He's going to be a little bit narrow here on this first approach. Still gets up over the tips of those skis. Man, yeah, solid jump on jump number 1. Set himself up to jump number 2 and 3 coming up, but drifted back a little bit. Didn't quite get the same turn we saw from Toddy Miranda. Still got on that right ski all the way through the waist, a little bit early. Still got all the drive all the way through the ramp. 209 on jump number 1. Vladimir, 209 on the board, coming back now for jump number 2. I'll give you an update on some scores very shortly. Already had 5 competitors. Let's see what Vladimir has here on jump number 2. Backing it off a little bit. Just on that 600 feet turn buoy. I want to carry a little bit more speed here into this turn, which he does. Stays out nice and wide. Let up a little bit in just off that second wake. You see his right shoulder came up, didn't quite get all the drive through the ramp. Missed the kick off the top, was back on his heels. Feet on jump number 2. So the scores at the moment: Rodrigo Miranda 66.3, Emil Ritter 64.5, Stepan Shpak 64.2, Dorian with a 64.1. That'd be a new personal best for Dorian Llewellyn. And then Harry Spaven of Great Britain 56.9 is current scores. Vladimir Ryanzin. 209 on jump number 1. 63.7. Let's see what he can do. Can he work out what's happened on jump 1 and 2? Nice turn, gets right down nice and low. Oh, and a pass on jump number 3. Quite get the timing right. Still solid effort though. 63.7 is going to sit him in. Going to sit him down the list. Still, he's got a second round coming up. Let's see what happened on this jump. Was out wide, stayed out nice and wide as well. Drifted away from the boat. Now makes the turn. Didn't quite jump on it in the turn. Looked like he was in good. Looks like he was in good position to make it up over the ramp, but decided to let that one go. 63.7.
Katie.
We move on now to
Good view
the
from
USA.
here.
We'll have Zach Warden will be our next skier off. Haven't seen Zach ski for a couple of years, but I know he's been doing a lot of training around here. 27 years of age.
He's really good.
Started skiing at the ripe old age of 2. Let's see what Zach can do for us. I said 66.3. He wants his spot in Masters. He wants to make his way over to the US Masters next weekend. Needs to get up over 70 metres. 72, I think, is the qualifying. So it's up around the 70, 72 is what you need to get yourself through, Zach. So let's see, 57 kilometres or 35 mile an hour. Our Nautique, Ski Nautique will be coming in, of course. Zach gets out nice and wide here on the counter cut. Going to lean on that left ski through the wakes, jumps and looks good. Gets out nice and wide. Going to want to carry a little bit more speed. Carry the speed in this turn, which he does. Stays up nice and tall. Drops through the wakes. Good kick off the top for Zach Warden on jump number 1. It's nearly going to be the longest jump of the day on jump number 1. We're pushing up around that 217, 218. Look good, stayed out nice and wide. Drifted back a little bit through the turn. But right onto the bottom corner. So just waiting for that score to come through. There you go, 217 feet for Zach Warden, exactly the same as we saw from Rodrigo Miranda.
It's really cool.
So 66.3 meters. So 67.8 is what's needed to go through. 222 feet. Do also have to win the event as well, so we know Zach hasn't got his ticket for the Masters next week. Hopefully we can see him in great opening jump. See if he can do everything possible to cement his spot into the Masters. Want to get a little bit more down course here. Conditions looking pretty good out there. Look how wide he is on this approach. Great turn. Right onto it. It's nice up over the tips of those skis, and it is going to be further. Is it going to be enough for that qualifying score? S turns to make sure he keeps the line tight. Hank, solid jump, hey, from Zach Warden.
And boy, he is really squeezing it in on that corner. And really, you don't want to be any more to the right than that, but boy, he really carries it down the jump course.
There you go.
225, that's his ticket.
That's it. And he still needs to win the event, though.
And that's a very important fact to bring up. He needs to jump over 222, about a little over 222 feet to qualify. That's 67.75 meters. He jumps to 225, which surpasses that. That gets him the ticket in. But you have to win the event. Just because you met the qualification doesn't matter, doesn't mean that you're in automatically. You've got to beat everybody else to do it. So he has set the mark for sure.
It just puts a lot of pressure then on the other competitors still coming up. We know a lot of them have already got their spot. Tom Asher's still waiting for his spot to go to Masters. Can he do something? Really puts pressure on those other guys to really put a score out there as well. And as I said, 225 is a solid jump here.
That's a dandy of a jump.
Without any sort of headwind to help these skiers. But
and to Zach's credit, he hasn't had the training time as he's had in the past. So to come out and shine like this is just phenomenal. He's one of the later cutters in the crew, and that might have felt a little uncomfortable coming in, and makes a smart election to pass. If it's not right at that speed and with those distances, you don't have any wiggle room.
And I think because he's already got his score, he already knows that the score is good enough to qualify. I think he's just sort of test the waters out for a little bit later.
As we saw that angle coming in, he might have even been a little bit early. And the one thing you can't do is let up on your cut. You have to keep driving all the way through the ramp, and if you see that, if you continue to do that, you're not going to get on, or you're going to be very, left side of the jump. You just have to let it go. There's nothing you're going to be able to get out of.
Yeah, we saw a couple of the skiers before letting up into the base, saw him then rock back onto the heels, and the skis come up in front. And he's certainly going to be happy with himself. You heard a bit of a squeal from him as he made his way back to the dock, but
that's got to be a real confidence builder for him, because he hasn't had the time. New jobs, working like 3 jobs, and I'll tell you that definitely takes into your training time. But you can see him there with Taylor Garcia, member of our U.S. team, finished 3rd at the World Championships, got on the podium and jumped, and with his buddy John Travers, who he's skied with since he was a little kid, and one of his best buddies that's trained out here since he was in the boys 1 and 2 division. So this is like skiing in his backyard.
So we go to Felipe Miranda from Chile. Next skier off. Was on the podium at the Moomba Masters back in March.
And world overall champ.
Yeah.
And he's our current world overall champ. And, when he won his first world championship, he was so shocked by the way that he was treated in his home country in Chile, how, he's become a rock star now, and just so appreciative of all the support that he's gotten, from Chile and the Miranda family, one of the great families in water skiing.
It's hard though, training for all 3 events. I mean, he was the world champion back in 2013, 15, and 17. I mean, to be able to train and be at the top of your game in all 3 events is
at
solid.
the top level in all 3 events. That's what's so amazing.
Didn't trick very well yesterday. It was a bit disappointing in his tricks, but 68.8 is his longest jump. That's his personal best. We've seen Zach go a 68.7. That was around about maybe the 210s, 208, 210s on jump number 1.
Boy, what a great aerial view of Sunset Lakes.
Everyone down there congratulating Zach Warden. There you go, 208.
That's a good opening jump, though. You get a feel of it. It's really that first jump that, some skiers will get their best jump on jump number 1, but it's usually that first jump. You got to feel out the water. Is the wind having an effect? It's really pretty calm out there now, so they don't have to really deal with the wind issue of it slowing them down, or with the headwind, or pushing them down course a bit with the tailwind. Thank God we don't have a tailwind today, but when it's a little calm, you also miss that little lift and float in the air. That makes it a lot more comfortable jump than if it's just flat out there.
And you can press. We haven't seen a lot of our skis pressing up over those skis.
Exactly.
Felipe Miranda, 208. Zach Warden with a 225, 68.7. That's the score currently to beat. We've got 2 rounds today, so that's another thing. You got to sort of.
That's a very good point, Jerry, that you make out there. There's round number 2, so you don't want to really. He's got the ticket in on the first round. He can just look to improve on round number 2.
So let's see what Felipe's got. Still, he's going to improve on jump number 2. It's going to be around the 215, maybe 217. Jump
now
number
you
2.
can also tell they've got buoys out there, and for the people on the shore, they can kind of get a measure of how far they're going. from those boys, but let's watch how he comes in. A little hesitation out of his turn. Boy, he's right on the corner too, but
most of the skis have been right on the corner.
right
I think
there,
that's what
about
we've
a foot
seen.
inside. A foot to 2 feet is really where you want to be. I think a 2 foot inside is a little more comfortable.
I
than
tell you what,
one.
when I jump, I want to be. No, I'm right over the left-hand side of the jump. I don't want to be anywhere near that corner. But Tom Asher getting ready down there on the dock.
And he's one of the great jumpers from Great Britain. You know, he's skied in the Masters many times, runner-up. You know, having the lead, then Freddie Krueger comes out and steals it from you like he's done time and time again. And a great battle we'll see between him and Ryan Dodd. They always have a slugfest out there, but you know, Tom Fisher, the Rocket Man, Zach Taylor Garcia, boy, they've got such a field of
You look at the Masters, and you've got such a diverse set of competitors. We've got everything from the young guys like Taylor, and you've got Critchley as well, Jack Critchley, who are going to be pushing those guys like Freddie and Ryan to really perform. But hey, this is a good jump here from Pipe Miranda. He's pretty happy.
Yeah, when they put that fist up in the air, you know, they're pretty pleased with. It's either he's disappointed or he's happy. We're going to find out here. Let's watch this. Great slow-mo, just a great shot here.
Looked a lot more settled in the turn, didn't he? Really gets on that right ski. They said was right on the corner. Was just a little bit back on the heels. You see, he can get a little. His head sort of rocked back. Yeah, it's not going to be as far. Looked better. But looking at that replay, I don't think it's going to be as far as the second.
We originally thought it might be.
Yeah,
66.3.
So 67.1 on jump number 2. So it's still, yeah, but as I was saying, you got such a diverse range. You got the young kids trying to push up into that rankings. And you've got the older guys who are trying to hold on to that.
And then you got the older guy. You're right. You know, it's like Freddie Krueger's getting his 40s now. He's kind of getting up there towards, you know, the twilight of his career. The Rocket Man's like 45, and he's still, you know, qualified. And Tom Asher's, you know, starting to get up there. As you can see, 37 years old.
One of the things I was just saying before about Felipe, it's hard to be able to train in all 3 events. And I'll tell you what, for Tom to still be able to perform at 37, and with now a young family as well. It
gets to put another element in there. You know, you've got your wife and your child that you've got to, you know, run your business, you know, to make money, to be able to stay in the game to begin with. And it's a very demanding sport. The beating that your body takes over the years, you know, you're going so fast. These guys are hitting the ramp at 70+ miles an hour, and you're going way over 200 feet. You're up 25, 30 feet in the air, and you got to come down from that. And, you know, sometimes you don't always come down the way you want to, which has some wear and tear on you. Down to the nitty-gritty, and they've seeded the skiers. So the skiers with the longest, you go by your distance. So we're going to see the longer distances as we work our way down the list. Of course, Tom Asher, the #1 seed, has the best distance average out of all the skiers coming in.
I just love Tom's counter cut there. He stayed up nice and tall, got all that speed all the way out. Oh, a little bit back on the heels.
And I think he was a little bit early on that one. He might have had to let up just a little bit. We'll be able to see better with this angle here. And boy, what a great shot.
It's a great shot from that crane, isn't it?
I mean, how often do you get to watch jumping like this? This is a beautiful view of really watching the skier. It's all from that second wake.
He was very early.
Of the jump.
He was quite early there too. You see him. His turn was quite slow, just sort of pointed the skis to the ramp. So he'll make those adjustments on jump number 2. 180 feet.
Yeah, that's not the numbers Tom Asher's looking for. He wants probably a good 50 feet on top of that. And he's jumped 230 feet, which is a monster jump. And when you compare that to the world record, if you've just joined us and aren't tuned into the competitive world, Ryan Dodd with a 254, and you thought Freddie Krueger's 250 was untouchable. And
yeah, going back a few years ago, you would think that that 250 was untouchable.
And Ryan Dodd thinks he can probably jump 260. So
wow. So here we go, Tom.
Distances they get.
So Tom Asher, watch the way he just launches himself off the first wake, lands on that left ski off the second, bang. Carries all that speed all the way out. He's carrying a lot more speed this time.
Nice and wide.
Yeah, nice, perfect turn there. Still hits a good spot. And it's gonna be around about that 210 mark. We'll see it on the replay. Definitely an improvement on jump number 1.
Yes. Well, you know, and this is the, here we go, you can see the angle he's getting from that second wake in and drove through it better. We'll see how he lands out here by these boys. You've got it pretty dialed in here when you see that landing. What'd you say, around 210, you think?
210, it was 212.
212, so you're calling him.
So it's not too bad. We're getting there.
Now this is where the skier really just has to, you need to have a short-term memory out there. And what I mean by that is you just want to focus in on what do I do to get a 225-foot jump. You know, you don't worry about those other 2 jumps. You just have to get the feel of, you know, you're going to feel what you need to do and visualize how you get that big jump. And so you're coming out of this corner focused on a feeling, because there's a rhythm here as well, and it begins right where you pull out here, and that buoy that he's cutting in front of 600 feet away from the jump, it's a measurement to when he's going to settle down out here. Like you said earlier, you need a little speed in that turn, and now he's just wanting to put it all together.
And a lot more power into the base that time. Is it going to be further? He looks disappointed. Not as happy as what we saw with Zach Warden. So I think it's going to be around, maybe he might have just improved a little bit. Maybe the 215s.
I don't think it's going to be any great distance further than.
Oh, it was a long way. It was a long way behind.
Wow. So he really didn't connect on that last one at all, unfortunately, for Tom Asher. And you know, Jared, it doesn't take much to go from a 198 to a 225. You know, there's just a few small things that make a lot of difference. And
we didn't get to see the replay on that one. I think he may have just brought his chest forward a little bit more and sort of. Oh, here we go. We'll get to see it a little bit now. And instead of actually getting the lift off the top or the double kick, the pull from the ski nautique, Tom quite got that on this jump. Chest came a little bit forward off the top, set back on the heels.
You can see his skis are up very high in the air. He never really got them to kind of settle down and come down a bit, so they kind of plowed through the air on that attack. And you know, I think it is a difference. There's 2 kind of frames of thought here. When Zach Warden goes out and jumps a 225, it's the mentality, hey, it's out there. I can go get it. You know, there's some big jumps out there that we can get today.
I've got to do some work.
You know, it really puts some pressure on you that I really have to, you know, bring it in to jump that far. That's a monster jump, 225.
So 225 from Zach Warden is your lead. We've got Felipe, which is a 68.7. Felipe Miranda with a 67.1. Rodrigo Miranda 66.3. Emil Ritter of Chile 64.5, same as Tom Asher, which we saw on that second jump.
That wraps up the first round of open men's jump with Zach Warden getting the ticket to go. And here's what happens in round 2. You can't. Zach has to come out in round 2 and do the same thing he did in round 1. You can't try to really up the ante a lot at that point.
Well, he'll be last off the dock too, so he'll know whether it's going to be good enough to go through. I'm assuming it's going to be a reverse seed for the second round.
Now that's a very interesting point because
If it's a
let
reverse
me
C for the
see.
second round, it makes it the pressure's then off Zach
yeah,
to
they
do a
they
lot.
had a running order pretty much the same for the second round as the first round.
So they might keep the same.
And so that's the way that they've.
So it's going to be the same. So it'll be the same.
I think they're going to keep it the same, and well, it's like earlier yesterday. Robert Pagozzi, who
Oh,
got 4 at 41 to get his ticket to the Masters. He had to wait for, he went out and didn't have a good second round. I think he went down in 39, and then
got a
Sasha
nervous-
Deskins, who's run 41, one of the few guys in the world that has gotten into that 43 off line length, is still to come out. So there are a couple guys after him that could have beat that performance. So it's a little nerve-wracking
Yeah.
when you're sitting down there, with such a big accomplishment on the line to get to the Masters. So
that's a big thing too. Like getting 1 or 2 at 41. I mean, I've never ever been down onto 41 before, but getting 1 or 2 at 41, you can sort of think to yourself, wow, it could be knocked off pretty easily. But 4 at 41, you're pretty. I think he was pretty confident after the first round that it was going to be enough to go through. But it sits in the back of your mind that maybe it don't.
But I
maybe
think John Travers had to run like 5.5 at 41 when he got in. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a remarkable score. It's either 5 or 5.5. So I mean, you never know when somebody's just, and that ups the ante too. So it's going to be interesting to see how round 2 goes. Now, today we're having round 2 of the men's jump. We're going to have the first round of the open women's jump, and then we're going to go right into the men's jump. And the gals have to jump.
52.
They have to jump around 170 feet, 169 and some change there.
Well, it's 160, 169.
A
is what-
little over 169, and in meters.
I think it's about 52.
In meters, it's going to be 51.6,
Yeah.
almost 52 meters for that performance for these guys.
So this is Brooke Baldwin, first competitor off a pass on a jump number 1. A little bit of a tail breeze that's sort of making its way down the course. But Brooke looked like a solid start. Looked nice through the turn, looked nice through the wakes. Just a little bit. Looks like she was a little bit early there.
Yeah,
Would have been back on her heels. So.
And when you see that, as you could see where she was when she let go, she was skiing by the ramp. So just needs to dial that in. Be a little patient. You can get a little antsy out there at times, and although it might look like it's your sweet spot to turn, you really haven't gotten there. The boat maybe hasn't gone down the course a little bit more that it needs to, so that you're getting more of a pull from the boat than if you start a little early on that. And that's the science to it, is that these big distances are coming from the skier being patient in the turn and letting that boat go down course. And as that's happening, they're continuing their turn and building up that load from the boat pulling them. And then when they get through that second wake coming to the ramp, the boat's going and you're going, and it's a 1-2 punch combination. And the timing of that is very critical.
And you're never going to be able to beat the power of a ski nautique, are you? Through the wakes, it's all about making sure you're in the right position at the right time. You don't want to let the boat be pulling you through the wakes. You want to be in the driver's seat, driving all the way from the second wake, land on that right ski, push on that right ski all the way through.
You're coming in on that right ski and on that edge, and just continuing to accelerate all the way into the ramp. And you've got to be in the perfect body position to do it, because, as you say, you're not going to overpower that boat.
So here we go, Brooke Baldwin, jump number 2. Looks like a better setup. She has. That's much better. It's up nicely over the tips of those skis.
Look at that landing. Beautiful.
Yeah, she was much better. Nice kick off the top. Probably pulled the rope a little bit. Probably could have just relaxed her arms. And the boat would have given her that extra little pull off the top, but it's one thing as well. We don't see it.
See the distance on
Yeah.
this.
Take a couple of skis to get our eyes in, so we'll know sort of where our measurement markings are out there on the lake.
Still waiting for a distance. You see, now this is I haven't heard the distance yet. I don't know if she has, and at times like this they'll drop the skier. Myself, in this situation, I know if it was a good jump or not. I want to just keep going.
You don't want to lose that momentum, do you?
You want to just keep it rolling.
And that's what we're doing. So we're bringing her in for third and final. Going to get that timing right. And said she might bring it down a little bit on this third approach.
You know, and she has an interesting approach. She just takes a 3/4, just works from the driver's side to pull out wide. Another good-looking jump for Brooke.
Not quite sure.
See how that boat's going down the lake, so she's getting good pull from the boat. And she's coming in and working it all the way through the ramp, and it's a good-looking jump.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how far it is.
Still waiting on the distance to come through for jump number 2 as well. So as we look down to our next competitor getting ready. Looks to be Elisha Pagnoli of Italy. You see Valentina Gonzalez, she'll be off as well. All these girls ramping up. As you said, we go all the way down to our top. You got Taryn Grant, you got Lauren Morgan, you got Natalia Cugliara, and you got Jacinta Carroll. I mean, these are the big names, aren't they?
Oh, these are the heavy hitters. It's the best of the best in this open women's jump competition. And as I mentioned earlier, before we got into the event, talking about the gals coming out, that you know, Jacinta I believe it was last year here in the fall, broke 3 world records. And it might have been this last fall or the fall before. You know, to break 3 world records in 1 weekend is phenomenal.
Still waiting on some scores to come through. I haven't seen Elisha ski for a little while. Saw her last time was at Junior World Championships back in 2013 was the last time I actually saw her ski. If I remember correct, she has a bit of a different jumping style. Maybe she's changed over the last couple of years, but always kept her skis really close together as she come off the top of the ramp. And
well, we're lowering the ramp. We go to a 5.5-foot ramp height for open women's jump. And our tech controller out there getting that taken care of.
Hey, so my jump, I jump in the 5-foot category. Can you just keep track of when, like, do you have the list running order at all?
Tom, no scores?
I don't know who. I have a radio, but I think it was Elisha Pagnoli or something. But can you just give me a running order and keep track of me, because I can't hear much with you.
Just hearing chatter over the radio that we may have a re-ride for Brooke Baldwin.
Have we gotten a distance
No,
yet?
I think that's why we may be.
Then I can get down when the
We might be having a re-ride. I think they may have might have missed.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, they may have missed Brooke's jumps.
It's
It's disappointing because they look nice. I mean, it would have been good to get a bit of a feel for what was happening out there. So we're going to go back. We're going to put the ramp back down to 5 foot.
So then I can film all the
Brooke Baldwin.
Now Brooke was jumping 5 foot. Okay,
I believe
that,
so.
that makes sense to me now, because she was actually seated after Elisha Pagnoli.
Yeah.
But if it's that they had to put the ramp at 5 foot, then that would make it understandable why the running order changed a little bit one of the great jumpers of all times, over 35 world champ, and one of the top 3 in the world as an elite jumper. Franz Oberleitner on the deck there talking to Elisha. And this is this is kind of a tough thing for Elisha, is you get all ready, you're mentally pumped up, ready to go, and then
get your bindings on.
Yeah, you're on the dock getting ready to jump in the water, and they say, well, no, we've got to take a look at this, and now you've got to decompress and relax and go through that whole process again. And at times like this, you just can't worry. You just chill out and try to give you, if anything, a little more time just to kind of mentally focus again, go through that vision of what you're trying to accomplish out on the water.
Yeah. Can you hold on 1 second? I'm talking to someone on the earbud. Yes, will do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go tight, but oops, sorry. The thing is, so I'll zoom out so they can see the lineup for the ramp, and then once they hit the ramp, I'll try to close them tight like that, and then do that.
Okay, well, it looks like Brooke is gearing up again, so she could be going out for a re-ride.
What's up, Mom?
It looks to be the case.
Yeah, she's getting her gear back on.
I'm jumping after the open period, like all the open. So like the women's and then the men's, and then I'll jump right there. Will do. Sounds good. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk to 2 people at once. What's going on? I'm jumping like right after the open man, Mom. Hello? I would like to go last. Ask the lady with the red master shirt and clipboard. Her name's, I know her last name is Steiner. I think it's Laura or Lauren something. Lisa Steiner. She's the one in charge. She's chief judge. Lisa Steiner? Yeah. And just ask if Raymond Chevalier can go in the back of the group because he's up in the tower, and once they get the old guys going, or the non-open, he'll head down and get ready. But he just wants to have enough time to warm up here.
Yeah, they got my pass. He's getting a re-ride and jump 2 and jump 3. I was like happy to be done. Sorry, sweetheart.
It's getting right on jump number 2 and jump number 3. It may be a technical difficulty with the camera there or something, and it's whatever. It's what it is what it is, and we're just going to do this again as she gets in the water. I think every jumper basically has been put in this situation one time or another, and you just got to relax, take a deep breath, and the good thing about this is that it does give her another opportunity to get a longer jump. We didn't get the distances on 2 and 3, so that's the problem. That probably had a technical glitch there somehow. Very sophisticated measuring system. Off to the left, if you can see the towers after the trees on the shoreline on the left, you see those 2 towers there. Cameras are mounted at the top of the towers, and they actually photograph where the skier lands, and from that photograph they can dial in exactly to a tenth of a meter as to your distance, probably even a little bit more than that, so sometimes with the computer and all that's involved in that system, you can have a little glitch here and there, and then we have to regroup and do it all over again. So now Elisha Pagnoli on the dock gets to just kind of chill out and watch Brooke again, and think of what she wants to do. She does what they call a 3/4 cut. She pulls out from the driver's side versus cutting through the wakes, and you can be a little more consistent with your setup with that pull out. You don't get as wide on the boat, so you really can't and get your skis to come around to a 90-degree turn as easily as you can when you get wide on the boat, but your consistency can be a little better and you can still jump far doing it. So this technique works for her, and that's what's important. Of course, didn't get the setup that she wanted on jump number 2 re-ride, so now a little bit of pressure is on as she needs to get a scoring jump here on jump number 3. So this has really turned into a one jump round for Brooke Baldwin. She's just got to focus on, what do I need to do to get one long jump? I just have to focus on the rhythm, the feel, the vision of where I want to be to begin my turn. And then be patient, let the boat start to pull you before you take off, and then just take advantage of the pull from the boat, get your leverage, get in the leverage position, so you just continue to build up speed all the way. Actually, after you come through the 2 wakes, coming into from the second wake into the bottom of the ramp is really where you want to accelerate, and you actually want to accelerate through the ramp and be going your fastest at the top of the ramp. Once you start going, you don't want to slow down at all. Here we go, Brooke Baldwin coming in for jump number 3. And boy, the camera shots are just incredible. Nice and wide. Come on, Brooke, and she looks like she has some nice speed, nice lift, and beautiful float down the lake, and hopefully that is as long as any of her jumps that she had to take a re-ride on. You can see how she gets turned, comes through the wakes, and has good edge coming all the way into the ramp. Right up the center of the ramp, gets over the top of them, and a little fanny dunk on the landing, but a beautiful jump number 3 for Brooke.
Oh, so okay, so they're doing.
Distance 134, 47 meters, 40.7 meters.
Okay, 134 on that scoring jump for Brooke, not the number she was looking for. 169 is a ticket to the Masters, so she has to add a little more beef to it in round 2. Alrighty, now we're going to crank that ramp up again. And get ready to bring out Elisha Pagnoli from Italy. Will be our next skier out. And then she'll be followed by Valentina Gonzalez, Dominika Lally, Alexandra Danishevskaya, Hannah Silva, Janina, Banamine, Taryn Grant, Lauren Morgan, world champ, world record holder, former Natalia Cugliara, and our current world champion and record holder, Jacinta Carroll, our #1 seed in this event. And then we're going to go back to round 2 of open men's jump. Big thank you for all of us joining us, and give a shout out to visitcentralflorida.org, sponsors the sound system here at our event, and can't thank them enough for their support. Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing, and of course Polk County, the water ski capital of the world, wants you to come join us, visit us, and ski, home of USA Water Ski headquarters and the USA Water Ski and Wake Sports Foundation, Hall of Fame and Museum, which we are delighted about the new move to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park for the foundation and the headquarters. And just thankful that we have such a great partnership with them and with the folks up here at Lake County that do so much for Sunset Lakes and Jack Travers and company. Well, we've got that beautiful new Nautique, and that's the advantage of being able to ski in the Masters qualifier, is to get a chance to get behind the new Nautique, get a feel of it, so you know what you're going to be skiing behind when you get to the Masters. Of course, Nautique is the official towboat every year of the Masters Championship in beautiful Callaway Gardens in Georgia. a tradition for the Memorial Day weekend. And coming out on the water. And you can see the beautiful countryside that we have here at Sunset Lakes. Just a gorgeous ski site, and what a beautiful retreat to come to. Hundreds of acres of property, and yeah, just very peaceful. And the folks here couldn't be any nicer, and along with the Travers family, just get such great support from the homeowners. Deb Graddick and her husband, Dan Abrusha, Ron and Mary Koenig, the DeMello family, just some great folks out here. Skip Hommel and company, and of course the whole Travers clan and all the people that work for him. Just wonderful people. So we're going to see what Elisha is going to do. She might just want to ride over on jump number 1 is the way her approach is looking, to get a feel of the jump, taking a single weight cut as we call it, and up and over, and gets a feel of the ramp and gets the butterflies out, and she'll come back for jump number 2. As you can see, starting from the left side of the boat and just really edging all the way into the ramp, through the ramp, back just a little bit, but she keeps it under control and brings it down.
Sorry, Hank had to run off and have something quickly to eat, but
well, you got to get a little break in there, Jared.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Brooke passed on
saw her pass on the first.
On the second re-ride on jump number 2, and then scored a 1:34 on her third jump. And now, okay, and Elisha 97 feet on just a single weight cut. So wanted to get a feel of stuff out there, and she's coming back for jump number 2.
97 one's about 30 meters. That's not a bad. There's a solid single, 30 meters.
Alrighty, well, we're glad you're joining us. Hank Longo with Jared Faro calling this, and it's fun watching. If I like being outside calling it, but to be inside the production trailer and to see it, all the different angles that we are with this great video coverage from Tom and David Gray from World Water Skiers. And if you'd like to watch this, you're watching it on worldwaterskiers.com, but also go to the website and join. Whether you're just started water skiing or if you're the best in the world, we want to get everybody to be a part of this organization that's doing so much to bring everybody together with just information and knowledge about each of the skiers, and a great way to just help grow the sport. And Jared Llewellyn and the Grays doing a great job.
It's one of the event anywhere in the world, and I mean, I know for a fact when we run Moomba over in Australia, it takes a lot of time to try and build up athlete profiles and work out who they are, where they're from, what they do, how old they are, and World Water Skiers is doing that. That's the whole point of getting this, so we don't have to be chasing people up all the time, knowing where their personal best are. We can input those scores, and all those rolling scores as they get updated can all be updated on their profiles, so they don't have to keep filling out athlete bios and those sort of things.
And it's so important to have that information, and that's the
makes
great
our job
thing
easier.
Okay, now she's going to take a crack at it. Got a warm-up jump, got the feel of things, and take it away, Jared.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see what she has. A little bit early and hit the middle of the ramp. Still got up over the top of those skis. And
boy, from that position, that was a nice, clean-looking jump. As you mentioned, came up the middle of the ramp. Can come over a little bit to the right, which means that she could wait a little bit later. But, that's strange that she took a ride over and then came in on.
That was her third. That was her third.
I missed something then. I'm
so she fell on the first.
Talking.
She had a fall on the first. She went at 97 on the second. And that's going to be up around the 100 and maybe 130-ish. But she looked good. Nicely through the wakes. Landing on that right ski. Hits the ramp. Skis come a little bit close together as she hit the base of the ramp and still managed to get up over the tips of the skis, but still 131. There you go. Said about the 130. So Brooke Baldwin still with a
134 for Brooke. So we have amped up the ramp to 5.5. There's Drew Ross, his daughter Neely Ross, the current women's world trick champion and a Masters champion. Well, you get a look at the turn island that the skiers go around, and one of the nice things about the turn island, as the boat comes around, it doesn't throw rollers down the lake. That island prevents the rollers from coming down the lake, so it's a nice smooth setup for each skier. No bumpy water. Alrighty, here we go. Valentina Gonzalez. She comes in. She's got that technique where that left ski kind of comes up in the air from Chile. And one of our top young jumpers in the world, going from being one of the top girl skiers in the world to now the open division.
She holds a lot of those national records over there in was that 140 feet? I said holds a lot of national records, overall records. She's more renowned as an overall. She's an overall junior competitor. Great jump. There's a little bit of a split off the top of the ramp.
Technique with that left ski flares up on her a little bit, and that's kind of a trademark of hers. Maybe she'll get it down a little bit on jump number 2, but a 42.8 meter jump, 140 feet, our longest jump, and that's an opener. Get a feel of things out there, and then once you know how that jump feels, you tweak things.
Make
from
those
there.
adjustments. So here we go. Jump number 2 for Valentina Gonzalez of Chile. No, she's capable of getting up over the 46, 47 meters. Still,
they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah,
169 plus.
Yeah, there we go. Going to build, going to generate all that speed and angle and passes on the jump number 2.
So we'll get a look at the replay and see if she was early or late. There's 2 reasons why you pass. It's either, well, there could be 3. Number 1, you're coming in awful late. You don't want to hit the side of the ramp. You let go. Or you're early, so you have to let go. Or you're coming in the bottom, and for some reason you just don't feel right, and you let go because of that reason.
It's a really good shot there, as we saw.
Boy, look at her on that one ski. Like you said, a great shot, and you could see how she was probably early the way
it would have been a little bit early. But you saw her on that counter cut as she's waiting to come into the ramp. She's still riding. She still has that left ski on edge. As soon as she's weights, the right ski comes all the way around, and she's a great technique. And when you get to ski with the Miranda brothers and the Miranda Ski School down there in Santiago, I mean, she's got the technical ability.
Some of the best coaching in the world.
Yeah.
And she skis a lot up here at Jack's, and once again, you're with Natalia Cugliara, a world champion, world record holder, and you get to ski with the best people in the world. You learn the technique.
That's one of the things with jumping too. It's all about technique. You don't have to worry about too much about style, but if you get that right technique right. Well, you look at slalom. A lot of slalomers, a lot of different body positions you can be in, a lot of different ways that you can ski. You see someone like Nate Smith that makes it look so easy. You see other ones. Robert Pagosi's a perfect example. Totally different style to what we see normal slalom skis, but still gets the job done.
But they still accomplish the same thing, and that's good edge, good angle out of the turn to get out wide to make the next turn. Here, it's no matter what it comes down to, you want to have great speed and power after the second wake and skiing all the way through the ramp.
Yeah.
And however you accomplish that is what gets the job done. Boy, this looks nice.
Yeah, it's good setup. Going to drive all the way through. He gets nicely on the corner. Still that left ski coming up. So it's probably just letting up a little bit into the base. And
well, for some reason, there's a little more power on that right ski where she could be maybe a little more square. Maybe the boat gets her a little bit there.
Let's see how close her skis are together. Like they get really close together right as she comes in the base, and then they spread off. So maybe she needs to stay a little bit more balanced just as she's coming into the ramp.
Nice jump, though. 46.5 meters, I believe. 153.
So still Brooke Baldwin will hold on at the moment. So Brooke Baldwin with a 47-meter jump. We had Elisha Pagnoli from Italy with a 41.5, and we've got Valentina Gonzalez up around the 46.5. So,
boy, what a beautiful day for jumping out here at Jack's. It's been overcast, and so the vision is good. You're not dealing with the sun, a bright sun on the jump, although with jumping this way, especially as you get into the afternoon, is great because the sun actually is you're skiing into the sun versus if we were on the other lake skiing in the opposite direction. The sun glares on the ramp, which makes it very difficult to see. But here they have a perfect visual as they come into the jump course, and just excellent conditions here at Sunset Lakes. You can find out more about it at jacktravers.com, and of course, thank the folks at Nautique for providing this beautiful official towboat of the 2018 Masters. It's been the choice for the Masters for years and years. Nautique sponsors the event, and what a thrill it is to be qualified to make it to the big show. The Masters will be taking place next weekend over the Memorial Day weekend in beautiful Callaway Gardens, Georgia. All righty, Jared, here we go.
So here we go. It's Dominika Lally of Canada. Jump number one. Still some big names coming up, though, as we move down to the world record holder, Jacinta Carroll from Australia. The first jump coming up. Nice turn. Lean all the way through. Got pulled a little bit forward off the top, but still, she's got good distance on that one.
She's a little tiger. She has been one of the top girl skiers in the world. She is a junior world champion, under 21 Canadian record holder, under 17 Canadian record holder, and in that jump you could see her break a little bit at the waist and drop her head a tad as she was coming in. Great power. Boy, she really gets some good load built up before she hits the bottom of that ramp.
Oh, there you go, a 148, I think I heard. There, a 148, good opening jump.
So just to fill you in on Dominique, Canadian under 17 jump champion, under 21 open jump champion, two-time junior masters champion, under 17 junior world champion, under 21 world champion, and of course she skis with the best here. She lives here at Jack's, Montreal, Canada, but her folks have made the big sacrifice to let her come down here and live and work and go to school.
Where else would you rather be? I'll tell you what, I'd rather be over here too.
Oh boy, she
nice turn,
really
great body position. Yeah, as you look good there. That definitely, you see the distance improved there on jump number 2.
Yeah, that was a nicer jump, and she works real hard at it. Of course, her mom and dad making a great sacrifice to let her be here, and the Travers being so great to look at her. But look at this good solid body position as she's coming through the wakes, driving in on that right ski, and kind of breaks a little bit again.
170 feet on
Oh
jump
my
number
gosh.
2.
Well, that's her ticket. That is her. Wow. That was a huge jump. Yeah. Wow. I mean, she had beautiful edge coming in on that. It looked like she came forward a little bit on the ramp with her upper body, but then again, you've got to be over the top of your skis when you come into the ramp. But what a powerful, I mean, 170 feet, that is huge. And 169 is the ticket to get in. So, boy, would that be fantastic if that held up. And here she comes on jump number 3.
She really wants this done, and you saw that. She was driving all the way through the ramp with that left shoulder. And it's going to be around that same mark, around that 170.
Wow. Dominika Lally, Dodo, as she's lovingly called from all her friends.
And look at the smile on her face, too. She's definitely happy with that one. So we'll get the official distances coming through. But look at this. As it stays, jumps those wakes right through, kept the direction. Saw her keep that direction all the way through the ramp as well. Getting right up. Just past. Where she landed on jump number 2. We'll get that distance.
Let's hear. I'll ask her.
So just want to get that distance. So just waiting on distance to come through, but we see that new ski nautique. It's the first time I actually got to see it. It was yesterday, and it's an amazing machine, isn't it? It's just a piece of machinery. And hats off to the guys at Nautique for the development and the design. It's certainly something special. I'll see how it goes at Masters. This is the first tournament that it's actually towed, so we'll see how it goes at the Masters next week.
Just an exquisite boat, and they've come a long way, that's for darn sure. We're still waiting a distance on that last jump for Dominique.
No, they're still waiting on that distance. As you said before, we saw this at the very beginning with Elisha Pagnoli getting ready on the dock. We saw Brooke Baldwin go off first. Unfortunately, we missed the first couple of first jumps for her. Oh, there you go, 171. Wow. So we got that distance there for Dominika Lally of Canada, 171. So 52.1.
She has set the mark, you know, and the only bad thing for Alexandra on the dock is those bindings are so tight that you really can't sit in them too long without your feet getting a little numb. But she seemed to be okay, and we'll see what this gal can do. She has had a very impressive career.
The girlfriend, of course, Taylor Garcia.
Yeah, I believe a junior world jump champion, and she is, I mean, we're working down the seeding list, so although Dominika's jumped a 171, you know, the girls that have come out after her have had better performances, but that doesn't mean that their performances have surpassed the 171. Up until that point, they've had an average score that's been better, so it's all seeded. We'll see what Hannah can do, and this is going to be a good indicator of how great a jump that 171 was.
So here we go, Sasha. Let's see, nicely through the wakes. She just slices her way through the wakes. Those big D3 jump skis. Getting out, nice turn, sinking now, building all that speed up into the base. Ooh, a little bit on the heels on jump number 1, but she gets it back together.
Yeah, she gets her skis underneath her. That's what's important. Slipped out a little bit. fact that she was able to get her skis back underneath her is critical. And you just gotta wave that one off. You gotta forget about that and think about jump number 2 coming up. And she'll know that she just has to keep driving. 118, not the numbers that she needs.
No, definitely not.
When you slip like that, you lose a heck of a lot of distance. So she'll refocus. She's at that caliber where you can figure this out pretty quickly. You don't need to make a lot of big changes. Just could have even have been a little early. That's why she slipped out a little bit, kind of let up.
Studies, of course, over at the University of Louisiana Monroe, ULM. If you're watching on from ULM, Sasha Danishevskaya for jump number 2. As I said, she would have got some tips from Taylor Garcia on the banks. And looking good now, keeping on that left ski, staying as wide as she can. Looks good now. Nice body position through the wakes. That's better up over the tips of those skis. Still not as far as what we saw from Dominika Lally, but still, it's a confidence booster.
A good-looking, clean jump from the beginning to the end, and a very nice, smooth turn. Got through the turn, got set in body position, and through the wakes. Gets on that right ski and continues to drive. You see the left ski up a little bit. They do that so they can build up speed and not have the drag from the left ski in the water. That's a talented move in itself. The skill set that it takes to be able to be on that right ski edging into the ramp with the pressure off the left ski, but still keeping it in the in the parallel position it needs to be next to your right ski all the way into the bottom. It's a real skill to be able to do that. Waiting the distance. This is going to be interesting.
It was a 46.7, I think, something like that, around about the 46. Knew it was down from what we saw from Dominika Lally, but Sasha Danishevskaya from Belarus. Jump number 3 coming up. This is what she needs. She is going to have another chance tomorrow as well in the second round here of the last chance qualifier for the US Masters next weekend at Pine Mountain over there in Georgia. Driving now. That's a good kick off the top. It was good lift.
Wow.
Still not as far. But still, it's going to be an improvement there on jump number 2. We'll get the distance through. .152. 162. 49.3 meters. So that's a solid effort there for Sasha. She'll be happy with that, I think. As I said, you put that into the memory bank for tomorrow. We've got girls got a second round tomorrow. We're going to have the boys having their second round shortly after we see the rest of our young
when we
ladies.
finish up these gals, we're going to go right back into round 2. Looks like we've got Hall of Famer, Florida Hall of Famer Gordon West driving the boat, and over 35 world jump and overall champ Curtis Raby, the coach at Florida Southern College. And we've got the best officials in the world here at the Masters qualifier, and on with the Sunset Open here at Jack's, the Sunset Cup for 2018. Hank Longo along with Jared Farrell calling the event, and Jared, just fun getting to watch this. Usually we're outside calling the event, but we get to be in the production
get in to stay in the air conditioning.
Yeah, and air conditioning, and just get to watch all the different camera views that we have that you normally don't get to see when you're outside calling the event.
So some big scores. The cut at the moment from Dominika Lally of Canada, 171 is a 52.6 metres. A few of our young ladies pushing on that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just video this jump and I'll say that.
So moving on now to our next young lady. We've got Hannah.
Anna Straltsova coming in for jump number 1. Boy, and she comes right up the middle.
Yeah.
Nice pull and speed. That was kind of right on the money for where you want to come up the ramp. And these gals are not holding back at all, I'll tell you. This is what I find so fascinating. And we'll wait till we get the score here before I get yapping away too much.
I mean, it's going to be right on the 50-metre mark. Maybe 51, I reckon. It's just going to be short what we saw from Dominique.
All
Yeah,
right, what an
165.
opening jump for Hannah, 165.
50.3.
50.3 meters, but you know, these girls jump awful far. There's a lot of guys that would like to jump 170 feet at 34 miles an hour off a 5.5-foot ramp, and they're not big people. You know, these gals aren't like the guys, or they're these big hulky guys. You know, they're in incredible shape, but these gals really aren't all that big, and they're so technically correct and strong that it just amazes me they jump as far as they do. My hat's off to them because they're remarkable. Okay, bringing it down past that 600-foot buoy, at 600 feet from the top of the ramp. And that's going to let her cut a little bit later on jump number 2.
Yeah, that's a nice jump.
And that was a banger of a jump on jump number 2. Turn, got set, and kept it going all the way through. Watch how nice and tall she stands on her skis. Brings that handle in, lets those skis come around, and once they get going, you can see her get locked in. Comes through these wakes, and all that pressure on that right ski, skiing all the way through the ramp, over the top of them, and just a beautiful float down course. And a 171.
A 171, but it was a 52.1, so
that's an identical jump to Dominique's. Wow. I mean, you're going over 170 feet and you land exactly the same way.
I'll let you guys know when I head down.
You have a great jump there from Hannah. 52.1. She still has one more attempt though, so if she can dial herself, if she's got herself dialed in, if she can improve again here, it's then going to put the pressure back on Dominique to perform in the second round. But let's see what she's going to do here. Third and final coming up. I'm going to keep that line nice and tight.
Wow.
Snow plows. He's brought past that 600-foot ball. Let's see if she can keep that same momentum. She's getting out wide, going to keep that line nice and tight. Looking, driving now, kicking, lifting off the top. Oh.
I don't think that was hard. You could see in that one there was just a little hesitation in her turn, and in doing that, the skis didn't actually turn, I don't think, as much as they could. You're going to see a little hesitation. You see how she kind of stopped there?
It didn't quite de-weight that inside ski, or that left ski as she turned, and it sort of stalled on her a little bit, but still managed to get up over those skis. So, but it's still a 170.
Wow.
170 from Hannah.
Alright, I'm going to head down now.
And, oh, man. And she lost a little bit there. I think in that turn you saw that little hesitation, and instead of her skis actually coming around a little more to give her a little more angle, but still, boy, made the best of it.
You want to see, what do you want to see?
So she's at 171. 52.1.
Well, this young lady, she is part of, well, she was part of the German sports military. It is, of course, Janina Banamine, the 24-year-old. Her personal best is up over the 51-metre mark. It's not quite 52, so if she wants to get a spot in the Masters next week, she's going to need to jump a personal best here.
Well, you see now, this is I mentioned in the men's round that when somebody gets a big jump and you see somebody else get another big jump, there's two, you know, trains of thought here. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got to jump that far, or it's, oh my gosh, you can jump that far. It's out there, and they're getting it. I'm going to go get some of that for myself. So that's the mental positive attitude you want to have. Hey, they're jumping good out there. I'm going to go jump good, and if I do what I think I can do, I'm going farther than that.
And it builds confidence too. If you're seeing all the other girls doing really well, and it builds yourself up. Oh, everyone else is skiing really well. The conditions must be good. It gives yourself a lot of confidence as you're approaching this jump ramp.
Exactly.
But here we go. She's renowned as an overall skier. She really wants to perform out here for us this LCQ. Janina Banamine of Germany. Angle through. Great lift off the top there. It's going to be around the 160. 165 mark.
Yeah, you've
jump
got
number
this
one.
pretty dialed in on Colin. I'm going to have to take you to Vegas because she's coming in nice. Might have been just a little bit early, but not much. And gets a great looking opening jump.
Now 157. It's a little bit shorter than what we were saying, but still, it's a warm up for her. She'll know what the conditions are. As I said, it doesn't get much better than this, does it, out there?
No, it really
Other than
doesn't.
the fact that we would like a bit more of a head breeze, but
yeah, I was just going to say a little bit more of a headwind would have definitely made it a little bit nicer, but.
So Janina Banamine will have Taryn Grant from Canada, Lauren Morgan. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen Poochie floating around here at the LCQ yet. Natalia Cugliara, and then Jacinta Carroll from Australia, the world record holder, will be coming up. And then we'll go into the men's, won't we? We'll be bringing the men's competition back for round number 2. You'll see some of this great drone footage,
weather,
isn't it?
you can see it's a little overcast, a little cloudy, but hopefully the rain will hold out. It did all day yesterday. Of course, we got poured on last night, but it can rain all night long. That doesn't matter, just as long as we've got some good skiing conditions. Here we go, next jump.
So Janina Banamine looking good, building that speed all the way into the base. And it's going to be another solid jump there. From the youngster from Germany. My mum and dad will be watching on back at home. Sisters will be watching as well.
And just a delight to have world water skiers webcasting this event.
163, so around about the same mark on jump number 2. Yep.
Did you get the meters?
So what was it, 163?
Well, she needs. She could use like 10 more feet just to help things out. 24-year-old.
So here she goes. Jump at number 3 coming up. With a 163. She had a 157 on the first, a 163 on the second. Ski Nautique. Gonna need to keep that line nice and tight. Nice, gets it round, gets the skis all the way around. Doesn't quite have the drive as we see from now the young girls, but she really pressed over the top.
Boy, she came off the top of that ramp and really laid it down, and that could have been very helpful, getting over the top of those skis and pushing it down the jump course.
She pressed every bit of meterage out of that one. We'll get the distance through, but we look down on the dock. It's Taryn Grant from Canada. 49.4, 162 feet. So jump number 2 was her longest. Be
so
163.
163 is going to be her long jump. And we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Our number 4 seed, Taryn Grant, coming out next, followed by Lauren Morgan, Natalia Travers, and our world champ and record holder, Jacinta Carroll. So what a treat it is to have them there. You get a good aerial view of beautiful Sunset Lakes here, and Travers taking such great care of us while we're here to officiate. They take care of everybody, the skiers, the officials, and all the spectators. And Taryn Grant is off. I'll tell you, she had a heck of a slalom clearance in the first round yesterday, running 1 at 39 and just coming up a little shy for getting a ticket to go to the Masters in the women's slalom event.
So let's see what she can do for us here, Taryn Grant. As we said, the best score so far was a 171 from Dominika Lally and as well from Hannah Strutslstova. Still, I'm not quite sure if Lauren is here. I don't believe so. But we can look at the dock there. Can't see anyone getting ready.
Well,
Jack,
you know,
you can see Jack down there.
You know, that's very interesting because maybe if there's nobody down there on the dock getting ready, that means Natalia and Jacinta aren't going to jump.
Oh no, Jacinta's definitely jumping. She was out here getting ready.
Well, I've
up.
seen her. I would find it strange that, you know, she would be here and not jump. And
Nice.
Taryn opens up with a nice, good-looking jump.
I think I'm good. I got pretty steady hands.
Of course, then again, they could be getting ready, and we're just not seeing them right down there on the dock where you put your skis on.
Nice out there towards.
I was just going to say, the sky's looking a little dark.
Sky's getting very
a little
dark.
Southwest of here.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, they're supposed to come here in 5 minutes.
148 on jump number 1 for Taryn Grant.
Well, glad you're joining us here on World Water Skiers. Hank Longo, along with...
Forgot my name, Hank.
Jared, no, I'm just, I keep blowing trying to say you're Farrell. There we go.
That's all right.
We've only known each other since we were kids. That's what old age does to you. I'll never forget I'm at the Senior Worlds announcing, and one of my buddies I've skied with since we were at least in men's one, you know. And I looked at him, and he and Curtis Rape were there, and I looked at him, I go, I can't think of your name. And he thought I was kidding. I go, no. He goes, don't worry, I have the same problem.
So
So it escapes me.
No one gets my surname right, so it doesn't really matter. But here we go, Taryn Grant. Jump number 2, a 148 on the board. Needs to be up over 52.1 metres if she wants her spot in the Masters or give her a chance to be through to the Masters. A little bit back on her heels on jump.
Back a little bit there.
Number
You're
2.
right.
Wasn't quite the greatest of setups. She turned her skis quite fast and sank into the turn. You want to sort of make sure that you stand up nice and tall out of the turn and build that all the way through the base. So
Might have been pulling on that handle
Yeah.
a little bit as she came on the ramp, which got her to go back a little bit.
a 138. It's not the right way to spell it, but that's the best way to say it.
And Taryn Grant from Manitoba, Canada, out on the water. Well, you know, this has been fun, Jared, being able to sit in here in the production trailer and call this event, because we're just seeing so much more than you do when you're, you know, sitting on the shoreline calling it. And the different camera views are great that Tom and David Gray are providing for us from World Water Skiers, and delighted that everybody watching can be enjoying this as much as we are. Jump number 3.
Definitely a better kick off the top. Still going to be shorter than what we saw from our young ladies earlier. As I said, we've still got a second round for these girls, and you never know, conditions can change tomorrow. We can have better conditions tomorrow. So she'll just put that in the memory bank. She'll feel a lot of these competitors are really one of the major things for this event, especially being the first one towed by the brand new Ski Nautique, that they get a feel for the boat. I think what's one of the biggest things, hearing from a number of the competitors out there, back in the 200, we used to have the gate system, so the skiers could elect to put it into slalom mode or into jump and trick mode, which the slalom mode gave you a flatter wake. The jump and trick mode gave you a little bit more of a jump 'em. Where with this new ski nautique, you've got different settings, so you can use anywhere between 1 and 10, 1 being a very shallow wake and 10 being quite a large wake. And being a new boat, the only offering that we're giving our skiers is between 1, which is little to no wake, a 5 setting, which is a medium size wake, or a 10 setting. So we're not giving everyone that flexibility to be able to.
Wow, very interesting. Well, you were right. The girls are coming out to ski. Natalia Cugliara, world champ, world record holder, phenomenal career. She has won the Masters. She has basically won it all, and then suffered some very serious knee injuries. And of course, when you get injuries like that, as well as getting older, it kind of slows you down a little bit. Champion, and the only one to ever jump further than her in the world is a gal on the dock that'll be coming out next, Jacinta Carroll. But Natalia Cugliara Travers, marrying Jonathan Travers and becoming part of the Travers family here at Sunset Lakes, and what a heck of a gal. Not only a great jumper, a world overall champion, a world trick champion.
9-time world record holder.
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Personal best, and that world record stood for a very long time, 58.6 metres, her personal best. And let's see what Natty has for us. Jump number 1, as the conditions are near perfect at the moment. Well, other than that headwind, as we said, but Natty launching herself off this ramp,
boy,
and that's
beautiful opening jump.
I'm going to say it's going to be the longest jump we've seen from our ladies so far.
I think you're right. She came right out and attacked that, and not holding back at all.
We've got a nice picture there of the front end of that jump. You see Natty making that turn. As she said, nice and tall in the turn. Had good body position through the wakes. Leaning on their left shoulder. And really just got straight up over the tips of those skis, didn't she? And she was in that position the whole way through.
Great pull from the boat she had as she came off the top of the ramp. It's going to be interesting to find out the distance on jump number 1 for Natty.
It's going to be around the 170. It has to be at least 170. I'm going to go and put it as it's going to be a 173. 172 maybe. No, maybe not 170. Maybe 172. You see some of our athletes down there. Some of our athletes and spectators.
Anna Gay sitting there in the black T-shirt looking at us, the women's world champion. Just set
graduated college last night, yesterday.
New women's world trick record of 10.7. No, just graduated from high school.
No, you
didn't get a distance on that first jump as of yet.
So Natty building, and another nice jump here on the second, her home site. She looks a little bit disappointed with that. I think she may have thought that she got a little bit further. So Natty's still working her way. 170.
1.8 meters.
On jump number 2.
Bill, what was jump number 1?
It was a little bit back on the heels as you saw her come off the top of the ramp, but really had to fight herself. You didn't see her do that on the first one. We saw her really extend up over the tip of those skis, and on that second one we saw her really fight her way over the tips of those skis. But seeing some of the greats in the world of water skiing down there on the banks here of Sunset Lakes. So Hank, I believe you got some Natty's first jump score, and it was a huge one. We knew it was big.
Well, we said it was huge, and you called it right on that one, Jared. 176, 53.6 meters. Backed off a little bit, like you had mentioned again, on jump number 2, 170. So let's see if she can, dial in jump number 3 and put one way out of the ballpark. 176 is a dandy jump.
Looking good so far. That looks better through the wakes. Got good lift off from Natty there.
She just is coming at it. And you know what? To overcome the the injuries that she's had and to be jumping so well. Hats off to Natty for the great job she's doing.
We see her now making a just about ready to turn. Nice and close to the ramp there, but she just looked great all the way from the turn. She got herself set nicely. She got that pull all the way through the base, lifted up over the top when she comes off the top. Didn't bobble as she made her way off. Great float through the air, and definitely a solid jump. I'm not quite sure, as you're looking at the replay, I don't quite think it's going to be further than her opener of a 176, but looking down to her final competitor.
Women's world champ, world record holder, Masters champ. She's won it all, Jared, and just what a beast she is. Not a big gal, but boy, she is so powerful. It's just amazing how far she jumps.
The world record and her personal best of 60.3, 198 feet. Skis up there with the great Curtis Shears. Up there in Queensland, all the way over there on the east coast of Australia. She's hasn't lost a jump title at a major event, a jump title at a major event since, I think if I remember right, March of 2013 was the last time she lost a open women's jump title. So Jacinta Carroll, she's the Moomba Masters champion. She's the defending US Masters champion. She's from Australia. I've done a bit of skiing with Jacinta over the years. She spent a little bit of time skiing at our lake over at Mulwala, 4 hours north of Melbourne, and let's see what she can do for us here on jump number one.
Well,
Score.
Natalia's third jump, excuse me for 1 second, Jared, was 172, 52.5 meters. So that 176 is going to be her big one.
And she's got such an aggressive turn. The way that she can, well, look at that. It gets right up over the skis. She's just in a league of her own, isn't she, Jacinta Carroll?
Oh, my. And did you see how she went up and then went up again? It's that second lift that's such a thrilling ride.
But look at the aggressive turn. We don't see any of the girls. The way that she just turns, she goes from going straight down the lake to pretty much a 90-degree angle in a split second. And look at the lift she got. And she's a good, that'd have to be 57, 58 meters.
189 feet.
There you go.
57.7 meters. Wow. She's
just in another world, isn't she?
She's from another planet almost, you know what I mean? And she has got it so figured out. And she trains hard. I mean, I've been here at Jack's when she's been skiing here, and it'll be like early in the morning and she's out running, and you know, she just doesn't let up. She keeps it dialed in the whole time. And
one of the things as well, I mean, she's trying to train she trains in all three events. She's a overall competitor, but also I don't know if you know this, Hank, but she's actually training to be a weightlifter. And she only just missed out on making it to the Commonwealth Games. She nearly tripped up on the wake. I don't know if you saw that on the replay, but she nearly tripped up and went out the front on that counter cut. But Jacinta Carroll really powering and launching herself through this jump, and that's going to be I think it's going to be a little bit further there on jump number 2.
And she, like you mentioned earlier, she is quick in her turn, and the fact that
she's a purity.
We can see it. You see how if we can watch this turn, you see how they get those, she gets those skis to come like at 90 degrees, you know, and coming straight.
There you go, she's improved.
Through the wakes and then 58.0, 190 feet.
She's just an amazing athlete. Not only on the world, but as I said, she just missed out on the Commonwealth Games. She was the next competitor in to the Commonwealth Games in her weightlifting class, and I don't know if you've been up next to her. She's got bigger arms than most men. She has got bigger arms than most men out there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go arm wrestle her. That's
no,
for
definitely
darn sure.
not. But a 190, what was that, 58 meters.
That's what, you know, but that's just to show you what it takes to be a world champion. You know, the training, the cross training that you have to do.
So here we go, jump number 3. She got that 190 on the board.
Now watch this turn. It's quick, but she gets some turn, but she doesn't really start to barrel down until she comes through those wakes. She gets good pressure, you know, but if you load up too early, then the boat's going to beat you. And she's got it all figured out, boy.
Yeah, she just the way that she can turn those skis and just points them directly at the ramp and doesn't move too. We didn't quite get that. We've seen a lot of the shots on the telecast of the shots. There you go, 192 feet. What's that? 58.5. So really going to set herself up for the Masters next weekend. But what I was saying is that where she turns the ski, she points them, and she doesn't look back. Once she's committed to that turn, she knows whether she's going to make it on right from the point that she turns those skis. So you normally see Jacinta, if she's going to pass, she's going to pass late. She's going to rather pass late or she's going to pass really early because she'll know whether she's going to be on the ramp. But you know, it's
wow. Well, congratulations to all our gals. You know, I'm going to check with our chief judge, Lisa Steiner. But this is the scenario I think that's been created, Jared. The drama in this event is that Dominique, and we'll have this verified, but jumped to 171, 52.1 meters, and Hannah Straltsova jumped a 171, 52.1 meters. Now, if neither of them surpass that in the second round, I believe the skier that's the higher seed goes. So with Hannah being seated higher, which means she comes out after Dominique, which, you know, she's a higher seed in this, they would go, or they go by their world ranking. You don't have a runoff between them. So that's kind of a little bit of a drama that's been built into them. Can you imagine each going 171 feet and going the exact same distance in meters? I mean, that's...
You couldn't write the storybook, could you? You couldn't write those sort of things. But
okay, so we're going to get ready with round 2 of the Open Men. Hank Longo with Jared Farrow, and Jared, fun getting to call this event with you as we're going to bring out Harry Spaven. We're going to keep the ramp at 5.5 feet. And we've got Hall of Famer Les Todd in the boat there, and he's joined with national champion Cole McCormick, who just graduated from Florida Southern College.
yeah, Harry Spaven from Great Britain will be first off. We'll then have Dorian Llewellyn. Jared, of course, he's was a scratching from the event. Would have loved to have seen Jared out there on the jump skis. What do you reckon? He's doing a lot of work at the back of this, though.
He was the beast back in his day, though, boy. He's won them all.
Stepan Shpak. We'll have Emil Ritter, Rodrigo Miranda, Vladimir Ryanzin, Zach Warden, Felipe Miranda, and Tom Asher. All vying for this Masters spot at the moment. With the spot is Zach Warden. But is he going to hold on to it? Can Tom Asher do something special? And Harry Spaven pass on jump number 1 there, Hank.
Well, I'll tell you, and I've seen it in the past where the skiers have jumped okay in the first round, and although this might sound a little strange, but a 210, a 208 foot jump, 2.9, it's okay. Incredible jumping. You can't take that away from them, but those are okay jumps. To go from an okay jump to a 230 foot jump is amazing, and I've seen it happen. You know, it just for some reason that first round you just couldn't get it dialed in, but when you come back in the second round you find that magic spot, and now you're blowing it out of the ballpark. So anything can happen here, and that's what makes it so exciting. Dorian Llewellyn, he'll be jumping at 5.5 feet. He jumped 210. Now at 5.5, a 210 is a pretty monster jump.
I believe it was a new personal best for him as well, at a 210.
So it's a whole new game coming up here in round 2. It's anybody's ball game.
So here we go, Harry Spaven, 3/4 cut for this second approach. Another one of the competitors has been spending a lot of his time over here in the US doing some training and skiing as well. Harry gets up over there. Nice, hey, really nice position off the top of the ramp there. Didn't quite have the speed as what probably would have liked. Didn't quite took around about the... So Harry Spaven is going to be coming back. So we're trying to get Harry finished before we get the rain that's about to pelt down here at Sunset Lakes. So I believe that we're going to try and stop. Oh, Jared having a bit of a slide there over the ramp and down the start dock, but. I don't know if Dorian's going to get ready to go. Looks like he's getting ready to go. And Harry Spaven, third and final jump coming up. He had a 187 in the first round. Let's see what he can do for us here on a jump number 3. Nice setup, stays nice. Gets a little bit out of extended, but great air form. The way he comes off the top of the ramp and keeps his direction off the top of the ramp as well. It's great if you can just start now to build on that cut towards the ramp. You can improve those distances, and definitely we can see Harry in the not too distant future be up over the 60 meter mark, 200 feet, into that 200 foot club. But 189, so a little bit further than what he did this morning. That's definitely his longest jump, 189. So it looks like that we are going to be stopping for a short while to see what's going to happen with the water conditions. Could be up to an hour, we're saying, because it is about to hit from the south, sort of southeast. It'll be coming up, southwest I should say, coming up from just down through Orlando. But Dorian wants to go out there and jump. Fortunately, I believe that our chief judge has called it, that we are going to be stopping, because you don't want him to be halfway through a jump set and then have to rewrite him after the weather hits. So we will keep you updated as to what's going to be happening here at the Sunset Lakes Cup, and also the last chance qualifier for the Masters next weekend at Pine Mountain up there in Georgia. But we'll keep you updated. Make sure you stick around on the webcast and keep up to date with all of our upcoming news on worldwaterskiers.com for everything that's going on here with the webcast and the last chance qualifier. So sit back, relax, keep watching the footage as it's coming through, and we will be back once. It doesn't look too bad on the webcast. It looks quite just looks a little bit overcast, but I can guarantee that they are black clouds that are coming through. But
The radar is bad.
so make sure you stick around, and we'll continue on with this open men's jump competition after our short break.